Welcome back to the Horus Heresy, this time at the edge of the 500 worlds in a system called Solace. The Ultramarines are battling the Death Guard. Look who's back, it's Paul. Say hi, Paul.
Hi, Paul.
You have a YouTube channel now, what's it called?
It's called Say Hi, Paul.
Hi, Paul. I'm not Paul.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Winters.
Hi. You're back, you're playing Heresy, you're playing Ultramarines. Do you like the Ultramarines? Do you like the Heresy?
Loving the Heresy, and Ultramarines in Heresy are cool AF.
Why Ultramarines, Paul? Why did you pick Ultramarines?
I wanted to pick a legion that I could do. This is actually quite a long story.
I love your long stories. Strap yourselves in, guys.
Okay.
Get a cup of tea. Let's do this.
So, long-time viewers of my channel will know I started to run a series called The War of the 10 Legions,
Nice.
which was a 40k series set in the Eye of Terror with the traitor legions all fighting for water, weaponry, etc. And this was a lot of this was during lockdown and so on. And I built a force of each legion. And so I went tank heavy with Iron Warriors and Raptor heavy with Night Lords and all that you might expect. And then I realised that what I had was basically 1,500 points or 2,000 points of each army and no options.
Right.
So every game I was playing was the same army. And I thought, must not do that with Heresy, must not do that with Heresy. And it was one of the things that kept me away from Heresy for so long, is thinking, I want to do every legion.
Yeah.
So I thought, if I find a legion that can do everything, then rather than building all the tanks as Iron Warriors or Iron Hands and building all the snipers as Raven Guard or Alpha Legion, I'll build a tank company for a big legion. I'll build a recon company for a big legion. So I looked at the different options and I looked at which ones I thought I could do more narrative things with, and I narrowed it down to Sons of Horus and Ultramarines.
Nice.
And then I looked at paint schemes and quick ways to paint, because I knew I was going to want to have hundreds and hundreds of legionaries of all sorts of different flavours, and I didn't want to have to spend 3 hours on each mini.
Yes.
So having watched lots of videos, I briefly flirted with the idea of Raven Guard, because the Raven Guard had lots of tanks on Istvan 5.
Yes.
And they're also a kind of legion that could raid other facilities to get the material they need for other stuff. So I flirted with that for a while, but because they were an easy paint scheme from my perspective. But in the end, I settled on Ultramarines because also I was going to be playing a lot with James March, who lives nearby. He's got World Eaters who fight in a lot in the Shadow Crusade, in the 500 worlds. I then put the idea in his head to paint Word Bearers, which he did. And so I thought, right, Ultramarines all really work. Might be able to sort of fold in some Night Lords. And I thought all sorts of other things do come to the 500 worlds. So there's opportunities there for individual battles.
Yeah.
And I thought there's scope. There's enough narrative scope. There's even enough scope to do some traitor stuff where there might be some of the 500 worlds that have been isolated by the Ruin Storm, and the mind of the commander, the Praetorian, has been poisoned.
They could just get the wrong message. If it's been isolated, they get told by Horus, hey, by the way, these guys, the Raven Guard are the bad guys. There's a few guys that they've gone bad.
Yeah.
There's that sort of stuff.
So there's also opportunities there. And I also think there are opportunities for the scouring in the 500 worlds.
Yeah.
Because that's Horus Heresy as well, as far in my mind. It's after the Heresy, it's chasing things down, and when the Ruin Storm lifts and some worlds are displaying the Horus beacon, and they go, uh-oh, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off. So I thought there's opportunities there. I also thought I can also fold in a little bit of AdMech as allies.
Yeah.
I've got my old 40k Ultramar Guard that I'm going to retweak a little bit and use as militia at some point that I can use as allies in the 500 worlds.
Nice.
So that's why I went Ultramarines. They can do anything. There are enough opportunities to play against almost any other force, and quick paint scheme.
How many points of painted Ultramarines you got now?
Well, I mean, I've got about 10 characters, so if this isn't a playable list, but I've got about 5,500 points painted. I've probably got about 15,000 in total.
So you're getting there.
I'm getting there. I've got things in mind for different companies. I'm going to be doing some stuff. I've got James March does a lot of bits for recon Marines, cloaks, shotguns and stuff. So I'm going to be doing, my next thing's going to be a recon company.
Yeah.
To fold into things. I'm going to do an assault company. So javelin bikes, Sky Hunter squadrons, assault Marines. That's going to be my assault company.
Beautiful.
I've got 4 predators, so I can have a predator squadron, so I can do an armored thingy. Spearhead. Thank you.
Yeah. So you're doing all the things.
That's the thing. I want to do all the things, but other than the mistake I made with 40k and the Traitor Marines, I'm doing all the things in the same colour.
Nice.
So I'm not at any point without an army to play, and I'm not always chasing the impossible, got a full army, which is where I've tied myself in knots with all my chaos stuff in 40k. When I go back to chaos in 40k, I'll be picking a legion and expanding it, but that is a ways off in the future, because I'm loving the heresy.
Loving it. We're both loving the heresy. So shout out marchofwar.co.uk for all those conversion bits.
Absolutely.
And shout out Say Hi Paul's YouTube channel for all the bits all the time.
And I also just want to shout out to March of War for the scenic bases on my minis as well. They are all March of War, and they are beautiful. And all the corpses on there are painted like his work bearers. Nice.
So today on the planet of Solace, we are playing 3,000 points of Shatterstrike. We rolled for Dawn of War deployment as well. The way Shatterstrike works is quite simply both forces are trying to break through each other's lines and stop each other's forces from breaking through their lines. You get points for every unit that ends up in your opponent's deployment zone. 2 points for the scoring stuff, 1 point for the denial stuff. So essentially, just try and switch sides, but also stop your opponent from switching sides. We're going to have the remorseless advance of the Death Guard chonking forward and the tactical brilliance of the Ultramarines, led by Say Hi Paul's Black Brain, trying to stop them shatter across. The battle mat is from urbanmats.com. All this lovely pre-painted terrain is from urbanmats.com. Let's take a look at these armies. And this is bang on. 3,000 points of Death Guard. It's always very pleasing when you manage to get an exactly 3,000 point list in Horus Heresy. These guys are remorseless with the Long March Rite of War. 1 minute. No, that one Sons of Horus. With the Reaping Rite of War. What does all that mean, remorseless in the Reaping? Well, essentially it means that I can never run and I can't make any movement phase reactions as well. So 2 big negatives there. And on top of that, each Space Marine Legion has bonuses to shooting or bonuses in close combat or bonuses against those things. And the Death Guard don't have any bonuses to shooting or close combat. We do what it says on the tin. Our weapons are our weapons, and in close combat we fight like normal Space Marines without any movement phase reactions, without running. So what do you get for all those negatives? Well, you count as stationary. So whenever you're firing big guns, whenever you're moving your vehicles a long way, it counts as stationary. You always move the full distance when you walk. We're never slowed down by terrain when we walk. When you're pinned, you never stay still from pinning either. And you can also bring heavy support guys, so 5 plasma, 5 multi-melter guys in the troop slot. They don't count as line, but by bringing these in the troop slot, it frees up extra heavies, because I've got 2 Leviathan Dreadnoughts and Grave Warden Terminators, which are Terminators in the heavy slot, and 2 Scorpii as well. So my movement isn't slowed. I've got extra heavy shots, a very shooty Death Guard list stonking up the table, led by my Praetor here, who's got Stoic Defender. So 2 reactions in the shooting phase, and the unit he joins causes pinning, and he's going to be joining the 10 Grave Warden Terminators. These are shooty Terminators. They've got these grenade launchers, which they chuck out, and each of these grenade launchers has got 4 shots at poison 3 up with ignores cover, so you can't shroud against it, and they'll be pinning, making their way up the table with my Praetor. Also going up the table will be the 2 Leviathan Dreadnoughts. In their chest, they've got Alchem Flamers. That's a special Death Guard thing. Basically, they're Fleshbane Flamers, so they're wound on the 2, but they get hot as well. I know the Volkites are better, and that's the way you should run them, but yet Death Guard can take Alchem Flamers, so I'm taking out Alchem Flamers. That's what they do.
Really cool.
Supporting fire coming from the Plasma team and the Multi-Melter team. The Multi-Melter team has got a Rhino. When they jump out of the Rhino with those Multi-Melters, because they haven't walked, they won't count as stationary. They'll be snap firing when they jump out. Got a couple of Scorpiuses with Dozer Blades, Hunter Killer Missiles. There is a Typhon Super Heavy Siege Tank with the coolest sounding gun in the game, the Dread Hammer Siege Cannon. The only brutal foil gun in the game. It's an anti-infantry, anti-elite type gun, however. It's for clearing lines. It can't one-shot a vehicle. It can hurt a vehicle, but it can't one-shot a vehicle. And then in the troop slot, we have 3 units of Breachers making their way forward. 2 of them have got Volkites. 1 of them has got bolt guns all out. And the Volkite guy in this team, I need to get him out of that team. I've swapped him out. It was in the wrong team. So these are my only scoring options for this game. Now, because I've got loads of blast weapons all over the place, all of the standard infantry that you see, the sergeants have Nuncio Voxes to re-roll those critical blasts. And the other thing that you can do with the reaping is the units of troops plus my Praetor are carrying rad grenades as well. Another unique Death Guard thing. Well, other people can bring rad grenades, but you can just give them to units for 10 points each with this particular rite of war. And that means in the first round of combat, the enemy reduces a toughness. So this Death Guard force will be trying to shatter the Ultramarine lines and roll over them, slowly walking forward, trying to reach the other side, while trying to stop the Ultramarines zipping around the edges. It's going to be very interesting. Let's take a look at the boys in blue. This is 2997 of Ultramarines. No rite of war today, though.
No, I often run the Legos Lectora, but it requires... I don't want to run it every time,
yes.
And it also requires you've got to take either a Master of Signals or a Command Rhino to be able to do the rite of war. And I didn't want to do that today. I wanted to take some other options, so haven't.
Nice. So my thing is movement. That's my Legion special rule. Ultramarine special rule is essentially tracer fire. If one unit shoots at an enemy thing and then another unit shoots at the same enemy thing and they're within 6 inches of the first thing that shot at the enemy thing, then the second unit gets +1 to hit.
The strength of wisdom.
That's the strength of wisdom tracer fire thing. Also, you've got an advanced reaction, which is if I shoot at a thing, 2 of your units can return fire at me.
Yeah, that's right. You basically return fire with the unit that was shot at and another one on the board. Any unit apart from a barrage weapon.
Yeah.
Anyone else can do that.
So the Ultramarines are all about the shooting. I should also mention that my once per battle special reaction is a movement phase reaction, by the way. Remorseless advance. You shoot at a unit and then once per battle I get a feel no pain and can move. Anyway, glorious, infantry heavy, Ultramarines force. Let's go through it.
Okay, so the concept around this army is a little bit more around the Codex Astartes rather than the Legio. Even in the days before the war came to the 500 Worlds, Gilliman was experimenting with, he was writing the Codex for different ways of war. So this is, conceptually, it's a blend of units from different companies. So we've got 2 heavy squads, one with multi-melters, one with missile launchers.
Yes.
And an Armistos, the Armistos notionally being a captain, a junior captain from a heavy company.
Yes.
So there's a bit of that that's sort of been broken off onto here. We've got 20-man tactical, 10-man tactical, 10-man tactical, from and the Herald from a tactical company.
Yep.
And some plasma support. The company Dreadnought, and then we've got some other elements to bolster them, like some heavier armor in the form of the Terminators and some fast elements in terms of the the jet bikes. So that's the concept around the army.
Yes.
And I'll go through this again in a little bit more.
Okay.
But so we have the general is Cataphracti Praetor. He's got a melter, combi melter, and a chain fist. His trait is the Aegis of Wisdom. So Ultramarines is smart at war,
right?
And it gives me an additional shooting reaction. And then when it comes to regroup, any unit that can draw a line of sight to him gets to use his leadership to regroup.
Leadership 10.
And if they pass, then they get to shoot and charge as normal that phase.
Okay, so normally when you regroup, you basically count as snap firing and you can't charge, and that offsets that.
It does indeed. You don't get a normal move, but everyone always gets their initiative to regroup move anyway, so he's sort of there to anchor the line. However, he is going in a Land Raider with a Terminator, so it might not come up that much.
Okay.
Often you use that with a command squad and a non-Terminator Praetorian at the back, and you just have everyone being able to see it, and the whole army stays going.
And the Terminators who are joining him, we've got a couple of chain fists, a couple of power fists.
So this is effectively what I consider to be half a squad.
Yes.
So the full squad has got the 2 heavy flamers. Because Ultramar is huge, I see the Ultramarines as having all the toys.
Yes.
So all my units, where possible, I take the Vexilla, the Vox, and the Scanner.
Yep.
But because this has got half a unit, it's got one of the 2 flamers.
Yes.
It's got the Vox and the Vexilla. The other heavy flamer and the other scanner will be in the other half a unit in another battle zone somewhere else.
Okay.
They're in a Land Raider. No upgrades on the Land Raider. The heavy bolter will shoot at whatever the Terminators shoot at when they get out, so they get the synergies of Strength of Wisdom.
Yeah. Okay.
So, other HQ, I have an Armistos, which is kit bashed, with a multi-melter. Now, you asked me earlier why I gave this guy a multi-melter, because he's got a Cognoscignum, and that...
he gives up his shooting phase. The unit that he joins hits on 2s.
Exactly.
That's his special rule. And
you
can't shroud it.
It's not his special rule.
That's the kit that he has.
That's a piece of kit he's got, the Cognoscignum. Now, if I wanted to give a unit a Cognoscignum, I could do that by giving them a Tech Marine with a Cognoscignum.
Yep.
And then I wouldn't be giving up a multi-melter shot.
Yeah.
Also, in other games, I might want to put him with a Despoiler squad.
That's true.
So he can come out, he's relentless, so he can come out, pop an enemy rhino, and then they charge the contents.
Yep.
So I've got a bit of flexibility there.
Okay.
And he's going with the 10 heavy heavy squad with the multi-melters in the rhino with the multi-melter. I like to kit my rhinos out similar to what the contents have got. I try and build them modularly so I can switch stuff around.
So that team are tank hunting and things like that.
They are. But what is interesting is obviously when they get out the rhino, they will be snap firing.
Yeah.
However, and it's specifically covered in the FAQs, the +1 from Strength of Wisdom does add to that when they're snap firing. So they will hit on 5s, and multi-melters are twin linked.
Yeah.
So they'll hit on 5s with a reroll.
Yeah.
So they're by no means going to be slouches when they get out of the rhino. And they'll also be in position next turn to, well, I guess be annihilated by a giant tank or missile batteries, but
we'll see.
But we'll see. The other elements of the heavy company are the 10 missile launchers.
Yes.
They've got all the toys as well, except they haven't got a Vexilla, a Vox, because these are in Mark IV, and you don't get a Vox in the box.
Okay.
In Mark IV, and at the time I built them, I didn't have any spares to make one.
I do like the fact that you've got Vexillas all the way across the line, because if there is a legion that would have the banners flying high, it'd be the Imperial Fist. But if there was another legion that would have the banners flying high, it would be the Ultramarines.
Well, I was chatting to Sam Nash the other week. He and I have got a game that, by the time people watch this, will be out on my channel, although by the time we record this, isn't out on my channel.
Okay. And
I was saying, I've got this agonising problem with my recon company, which is the next one I'm building, because are they going to have giant banner poles that, they're hiding behind a rock and you just see a flag sticking up behind a rock?
Yeah.
And on the bikes, it's going to do outrider bikes with them. And he said, no, but they might have ones that they raise when they go into combat. I said, great, now I have to magnetize all my Vexillas.
Brilliant.
So that's what I'll be doing, is when they're sneaking around and I deploy them, no Vexilla. As soon as they started firing, dink, Vexilla.
Cool.
So
more HQs.
More HQs. Yes. Sorry.
Herald.
So we have a basic company herald.
Yes.
He makes the unities with fearless.
Yes.
He makes them line if they aren't already, and he causes fear 1.
Yeah. Fearless line. You can score with a unit. Love it.
Yeah. So sometimes I'll put him with the 20-man tactical squad.
Yes.
So they can't break, can't run off, or he might end up going with the commander to make the Terminators line.
Cool. The other thing is another really big banner, Ultramarines.
Yeah.
They like their banners.
Yeah. Well, this is one of the ones, I actually have a video for how I did this, because this is one of the ones that you get on the transfer sheet.
Okay.
But it's a Forge World resin flag, and I had to soak the banner in Microsol to make it fit the curves of the thing. It was a lot of fun to do that, but I'm very glad I've got the snazzy banner on there.
Banner. I like it.
Haven't got any special weapons on him. That's not what he's there for. He's got a bolter, and that's his thing.
Yes.
And we have an apothecary that's been detached from the apothecarian to join this task force. He's got a power sword. Don't know who he's going with yet. Basically, I had a few points left I couldn't spend on anything else, and so he fitted in.
Yeah, that's pretty sure. 20-man tactical squad, chain bayonets, fist, plasma.
Yeah, fist and plasma on the Sarge, chain bayonets on the legionaries, and Vexilla Vox scanner.
Nice.
They are walking, because I haven't painted my Spartans yet.
Okay, and 2 more tac squads.
2 more tac squads. They have got regular bayonets. Again, Vexilla Vox scanner. One Sarge has got plasma pistol, power sword, melter bombs. The other Sarge has got plasma pistol, power fist.
Yes.
They're both in rhinos. No upgrades on the rhinos. At some point, I'm going to go back and magnetize the dozer blades and the searchlights and all those things, so I can chop change all that, but I don't have those at the moment. Then we have a 10-man plasma support squad. This isn't the first time they've been used, but it might as well be the first time they've been used, given what happened to them last time I used them. So I'm treating these as a new toy.
Okay.
No combat weapons on the sides, just the plasma gun. And Vexilla Vox scanner in their Rhino, which has a combi plasma upgrade.
Combi plasma on the Rhino with the plasma team.
Yeah.
And a multi-melter on the team with the multi-melter.
Yeah, so when they get out, the Rhino is going to fire at their target, so they get the +1 from strength and wisdom, because they'll all be within 6 inches of the Rhino.
Yes.
But I'll fire the plasma gun. It's only a one shot, but... And again, so when I eventually have melter units and flamer units, they'll have those options as well.
So a team elite hunting, a team tank hunting, lots of mobility there with the vehicles. Talking about mobility, sky hunters with Volkite?
Yeah, so I undenied about whether to put the Volkite on the jet bikes, but because the standard armament is the heavy bolter, and I like running them with a heavy bolter. But I had a few points, and I wanted to do something a little different.
Nice.
It's only a 5-man unit, because I haven't painted the other 5 yet. So this unit has got the Vexilla, but the Vox isn't coming till the next unit.
Yeah.
Power fist on the sergeant.
Right.
There is a scanner modelled on, because it turns out you get it in the box, but you can't take it on the unit.
Brilliant.
So they've got some decent range. They should be able to pick on targets without taking too much return fire.
They are good.
But their key thing is mobility. So I don't use them as stationary weapons platforms. I use them as a mobile platform.
Mobile backfield gun platform.
Yeah.
Mopping up the flanks right and left. They are quite nice. I like them.
Speaking of immobile weapons platforms, well, it's not technically immobile. It does kind of have legs. Derodeo Dreadnought with heavy bolters on the chest, the plasma loadout, which gives it a plasma blast template. I've got lots of blast weapons. Well, I don't have lots of blast weapons. Actually, I've got 2 units of blast weapons. But the Vox also guards against the negative leadership from night fighting. So it might be night. It's That's what the kit's there for.
Yeah.
And the missile array on the back.
Yeah.
And did I mention the missiles? 10 missiles. Yes, I did. You don't get the box in the box. I mentioned that.
Don't get the box in the box. Okay,
Yeah.
so infantry, heavy Ultramarines trying to shatter strike the Death Guard lines. Interestingly, I've got 2 Dreadnoughts and 10 Terminators. And you've kind of got a Dreadnought, but not a punchy Dreadnought. And only 5 Terminators. So I'll be winning the close combat war. But you've got the mobility to try and stay away from the Death Guard for the close combat war. Let's face it, Ultramarines have all the bonuses for shooting. They want to be moving, shooting, coordinated fields of fire.
With Logos Lectora and Retribution Strike, we get up to weapon skill 5. They can be really nasty in close combat. And I have got close combat units, just not in this force.
Not today.
Not today.
Not today.
This is... we are trying to punch through your line, so we are in our transports. Yes. With our bikes, and we have we've got a few guys on foot defending the artillery that we've got in the backfield.
These guys on foot, they did have a Spartan, but it got blown up in turn 0.
Yeah.
And so now they're on foot. Let's go on to deployment. So we're deployed for this 3,000 point game of Shatter Strike, and the Death Guard deployed first. They will be going first, trying to break through onto the other side, and none of my stuff is in reserve. I've got Dreadnoughts anchoring this flank, which need to get up there. Typhon in the middle, because the Dreadhammer Siege Cannon is only 24-inch range. Very short range. Very big gun. And of course, my Praetor and the Grave Warden Terminators are right in the middle of the battle grid. Down this flank is looking a little less defended, with 2 units of breachers and the multi-melters in the Rhino. And opposite them, Plasma Team's up here, but opposite them is all of these fellas. Massive squad of 20. You put the Apothecary in here.
Yeah.
And then there's
Herald.
And the Herald. So they're scoring. They've got to feel no pain. They want to push on through. You've got the missile launchers. Largely staying back there to throw some firepower down this flank. And also staying away from the firepower from the rest of the Death Guard force. They're also supported by the Deredeo. In the middle is your HQ in the Land Raider.
Yep.
Behind them a Rhino, ready to push down this central street. And then on the right flank, there's the Melter team, the Plasma team, another unit of Tactical Marines, and the bikes. So deploying hard on the right and left. Not so much in the middle, considering the Death Guard threat. And the interesting thing is, do you want to try and steal the initiative? You're an Ultramarine, so you shouldn't steal. Stealing is bad.
It isn't so much stealing, more in character, outplaying.
Right, okay. Let's see if you manage.
And I don't know if I want to go first. I'm going to leave it to the dice.
The dice say no, it's Death Guard turn 1. Right, here we are after the movement phase. The Rhino with the multi-melter heavy support team decided that was probably a bit too much to handle, and has decided to cut right down the street while urging both of the breacher teams to go forward into the guns. Talking about going too far forward, there's a multi-melter team there. So if I put the Typhon too far forward, then the tank moves forward, then they get out, and then potentially multi-melter the Typhon in turn 1. I could have moved the Typhon round to try and crack open the multi-melter team and leave them back there in turn 1, but then my side armour would have been exposed to 4 las cannons from the Line Raider. And that could have also potentially been a dead Typhon in turn 1. So I presented the Flare Shield this way to the Land Raider, and essentially not going to be shooting very much with the Typhon this turn, encouraging the Ultramarines forward. Either the Terminators need to come forward, or the tank hunting multi-melter team needs to come forward, and then I can surprise ninja jump on them with the Typhon Super Heavy Siege tank, which they won't see coming because it's really, really stealthy. That's the plan there. So giving up some guns, but setting up for turn 2. I didn't want to lose my Typhon in the first turn. The Leviathans chunking forward, Plasma teams moving around, breachers on this flank, spreading out all across the line, but line of sight is somewhat restricted on this table as we go into the shooting phase. So over on this flank, the only thing that can shoot is this Plasma team, and I'm going to fire into the blank. Bikes, you're returning fire.
I am indeed.
You are returning fire. Let's do the gets hot rolls though on the Sergeant and on the other guys. One of them gets hot, so he needs a 3-up save, and he's dead already. So one isn't firing, but we're putting the disc here. If I get hits, it'll tickle 2 of the rhinos as well. I have Nuncio Voxes, so we can re-roll, but the first one hits. The second one, that'll scatter an inch. That'll hit the bike and 1 rhino. That one I'll re-roll. The third one, oh dear. Side on 2 rhinos, and that one's going an inch of sort of that way. 3 on the bikes, 2 on the rhino, 2 on the rhino. This is on the bikes. Wounding on 2s, 4s breach, so 1 gets through. There are 2 saves to make, and that's a dead bike. And then 2 hitting this rhino. Doesn't do anything, and 2 hits this rhino, and that's a glance and a pen. 6-up cover on the glance and a 6-up cover on the pen. Okay, so it takes off a hull point and just shakes it. So only 1 biker has fallen, but before we remove them away, we've got lots of shots coming back in from the Volkites. They have 5 shots each.
In on 3s.
Yep, returning fire. Turn 6, winning on 2s. Many 3-up saves. No artificer armor in that unit. You wipe out the squad.
I'll take that.
The return fire of the Ultramarines being painful there. We're moving on to the Typhon. The Typhon's got 2 straight shots with a las cannon. Down at your Land Raider. Doing anything about this? You're going to take it.
No, that's what armor's for.
Las cannons to the face. 3s to hit. One of them hits. Strength 9. Doesn't do anything, but it sunders, so I can re-roll, and it just bounces off the armor. Okay, you've got 2 reactions to shoot phase, right?
I do.
Because there's going to be some Scorpiuses flying in, trying to take on your missile team. They're very scary. Putting the Scorpiuses here. Are we doing anything about this either?
No, we're going to take it.
You're going to take it?
We're going to take it.
Okay, this is going to scatter the full distance, but I can re-roll it because this fella down here can see them and is calling them in over the Vox. And that's a hit. And then the second one in the barrage flips. But you can re-roll that with a Nuncio Vox. And it'll flip that way. We're hitting 5 and 5. This is into the missile squads. None of them breach. So you get full armor against those 4 hits. And one of them takes a wound, and you have to take a pinning test to that for a rocket barrage. And the missile team are not pinned. How about the team with the apothecary in? You can't feel no pain this. Lots of them are going to get hit. Then normally you'd take a pinning test, but the banner is flying. So you're fearless. You just stand there.
Fortune favours the bold.
Now the last thing left to fire is the plasma team. I don't think we can see very much. Getting down and having a look. Massive big pile of crates in the way here, so only 3 of them can see. These 3, and the only thing that is in line of sight and range is this now 15-man squad of tactical marines. So what are you doing, Paul?
Well, I want to use Unity of Purpose to return fire with this unit and with another unit.
Yep.
Now, we've just been and checked the rules. This unit is out of range, but that doesn't seem to matter.
Nope.
So I am going to return fire with the Derodeo. Basically, I don't want... My mission for turn 1 has been to bait the plasma cannons to shoot at things that can fire back and kill them.
Brilliant.
So I want them dead.
So firing back with the
Derodeo,
Derodeo, expending your once per battle special Ultramarines thing in the first turn. Do any of these guns get hot? None of them get hot. Let's fire some plasma discs in. Trying to aim the plasma down there. The first one, let's re-roll that because I can see that squad with Nuncio Voxes. That one will hit. The next one is going to be a re-roll, and that one's going 2 inches. And the last one, with a re-roll, hits as well for 14 hits, which wound on 2s and breach on a 4-up.
Okay, so armour.
Yes.
And
Brilliant.
No need for feel no pains.
And those are 6 inches.
Covers to see how many of those blow up little bits of crenellations.
None.
None.
Perfect shooting for the Death Guard through the crenellations. But you have an apothecary.
I do.
And he's going to work. Saves half of them. Only 4 of them get taken out. Now the Derodeo is firing back. So 6 direct shots with the plasma carronade. 2s to hit. There's 2 1s. Brilliant.
Doesn't get hot though when it's the multiple shots.
No, it doesn't. No. Wounds on a 2, but 4's breach. Okay. So these are all ruin saves of 5s. I only lose 1. 3 shots on the ALOS. 2s to hit. 2 hits. Strength 6. 2s to wound. This is AP3. I need cover as well. And
oh, man.
I'm good. Bolters of the heavy variety. And they're twin linked. Everything hits. They hit on 2s. It's dreadnought.
Does it? Oh.
Yeah. 3s to wound.
Haven't used a Derridae before. I only finished painting it last night.
Okay. These are armour saves. And I lose. See, the heavy bolters do the most.
They do the work. Yeah.
And that's the end of the shooting phase, losing all of my plasma except 2 remaining here. I won't need to take a leadership test, though, because taking casualties from a reaction. Just as you won't need to take a leadership test here, because the banner is flying high. And the bikes on the other side of the battlefield didn't lose 25%. So as the Death Guard begin their remorseless advance up the table, many of their mid-range guns are out of range or line of sight. So the first round of shooting, not particularly devastating from the traitors. But let's find out how the Loyalists do in Ultramarines, turn 1. The Ultramarines have launched their counter-assault with the bikes and a rhino full of tactical marines swinging round on this flank. The Plasma Hunters are staying in their rhino for now, cheering on the multi-melter team with the Armistos in it. I mean, that's a lot of multi-melters in armor bane range of that Leviathan Dreadnought there. That's a lot of shots. Can they one-shot it in turn 1? And then even if I go charging into them, can I survive the Overwatch? I've got 2 Leviathans here, though. Need to deal with all of this and prevent these units from sneaking around and shattering the lines on this side. Down the central street, however, you're staying still back there with a Land Raider. You're not pushing forward. What's going on with your Praetor?
Well, I'm going to try and pick off a couple of Terminators with las cannons whilst they're slowly plodding up the board with the guns that can't hurt the Land Raider.
Right.
Then, when I get close, they get closer and there's fewer of them, then the Tactical Marines will get out, shoot at them, the Terminators will get out, shoot and charge.
Okay. So, defending your back lines for now, trying to draw my Praetor forward. Then round on this side, missile team, of course, standing still. Derridae moving around, and then the big 15-man squad, I think it is.
It was 20, you've killed 8.
8, so there's 12 of them left, with the Herald pushing down this flank here. We're going to open up the shooting phase, however, in the central street. The Land Raider picking on the Grave Warden Terminators and my Praetor's unit. I'm not reacting to this. Grave Wardens have a natural 6-up shroud. You're shrouding into this chem cloud projections of filth that are floating over the top of them. What gun are we firing first?
Las cannons first.
Las cannons. 3s to hit. We hit twice. 2s to wound. Snake eyes. The shots just get swallowed by the chem cloud. Bolter of the heavy variety, which is twin linked. And wounds on 3s. That's only 2 wounds. Terminator saves.
Good.
I'm okay. Then we move across to this flank. This squad of breachers are getting lit up by 13 bolt gun shots. Here's the first 12, though, that are hitting on 3s. 4s to wound. We have 3 wounds, 3 trip saves. I lose one guy, and then the Herald's hitting on a 2, and he's wounding on a 4, and just one of my Marines falls. So we have a Derridae and a missile team back there, and the Derridae and missile team are going tank hunting.
Yeah.
Trying to fire at this Rhino.
It's a threat to the Land Raider.
Yes, doing the large blast version, so don't roll a 1 on your gets hot. You don't roll a 1, otherwise it wouldn't have been able to shoot. Trying to land here, it'll clip 3 of the team in front if you get a hit, and that's a hit. -5 to the roll, that's a direct hit. Strength 8 on the Rhino. Oh no, these are the guys you're hitting. Okay, you wound all the guys. Those 2 breach, so I'm good, but that one goes straight through and kills 1. 1 breach died to the blast. Let's see what the effect on the Rhino is. Strength 8 plus 5 is a penetrating hit. I need a 6 for cover. No cover. And the Rhino's stunned. Shaken.
ALOS missiles into the Rhino.
Yes. 2 of them hit. Strength 6. Side armor 11. Nothing. And then the heavy bolter can potentially glance. It's twin linked. And then you're going to need 6s to try and crack another hull point. There's no 6s. So the Rhino is still on 2 hull points remaining. And then you said off camera you're firing the missile team into them.
Yep.
10 shots with the missiles.
With Strength of Wisdom, because they're within 6 inches of the Derridae, they're all going to get +1 to hit.
2s to hit the Rhino. And we have 9 hits.
7 hits out of 9 dice.
Okay.
So 3s to glance, 5s to pen. 3s to glance, 4s to pen even.
They're all pen, actually. That's strength 8, 12. They're all pens. They're all pens. 6s? No 6s. That is a wrecked rhino. Are the unit inside pinned? No, they're not. So that's it for the shooting phase on this flank. The Ultramarines were very keen to try and take down that rhino, get the multi-melter team on the battle grid over here, because the next turn, the rhino could have swung. There could have been some multi-melter shots getting perilously close to the Praetor and the Land Raider. Then we skip across all the way over here to where the rhino on this flank snap fired at these breaches and missed.
But laid down the tracer fire.
Yeah, but they've been lit up by tracer fire, so now all the Volkite shots can hit them. I'm definitely going to shroud this, because this could be painful.
Evade!
And they're hitting on 3s.
2s.
Oh yeah, 2s. Wounding on 2s. Hitting on 2s, wounding on 2s with Volkites. Love it. Then I got a chunk of 3-up saves, which was absolutely awful. And then a chunk of shrouding saves as we duck and cover. And that helped. You only take down 3 of them.
But the deflagrate is on the wounds, not the shroud, isn't it?
It's no, those ones, just the 3.
Just the 3?
Just the 3. And that is 2 more. And I'm okay. 1 minute. It does say number of unsaved wounds. So the number of unsaved wounds before the shrouding. So 3 more with the deflagrate. It's 2 more wounds. 2 more successful saves. You take out 3 of them. But their armour has been really burnt up. Now we're across to the multi-melter team. Last thing left to fire. Starting off with the multi-melter on Rhino.
Yep. Hit on a 3.
Yes. And that's a hit. Wounds on a 4.
No. It's not close enough for flashbang.
Nice. So nothing happened. And then I've got 2 reactions in shooting phase. These guys are going to go shooting into that.
They are.
I'm going to do my once per battle. Remorseless advance. First up, however, Armistos hitting on a 2. Because he's relentless. He's good. And then that'll wound on a 4. And it wounds. 5, all the multi-melter shots, 5s.
Yep. Yes. Because they get... It's snap firing, but strength of wisdom adds to the hit roll rather than increasing your ballistic skills. Yes. So 5s. They're twin linked because they are multi-meltars.
So it's 3 so far. Wow. Okay. And then these are in multi-melter range, so 4s to wound with the reroll for armor bane. That's a chunk of wounds, right? So what I do is I have a 5-up invulnerable save, and then I have a 4-up feel no pain because of my advanced reaction, and I take 1 wound, and the Leviathan Red Dreadnought chonks forward 6 inches. So the Ultramarines didn't see that in the Codex.
No, he didn't write that one down.
No, just Death Guard things.
That's going to cause a problem of sorts.
It is, yeah. Well, I want to get there. I want to get up in your lines, and the Overwatch from that team is going to be more effective than your shooting in the shooting phase, actually, because at least you're on the battle grid. That is the end of turn 1. No further morale tests to take for anyone, is there?
No, I don't think.
No, I'm okay. However, that was only turn 1, the opening shots of this battle. And there's still plenty of battle grid for the Death Guard to march through as we go on to turn 2. So now the Death Guard have many guns that they'll be able to bring to bear. This could be painful for the Ultramarines. Starting on this flank, did have a morale test to do with this unit of breachers at the end of that turn, which they've passed, and they've come round this way, attempting to take on those bikes. They don't really want to shoot that Rhino, but that Rhino reacted, and it's coming right for us. I'm not sure this team will be long for this world, but talking about a team that's not going to be long for this world, there's a big squad of multi-melters there, and they absolutely must die. I didn't move the Leviathan, worried about any reactions and the itchy trigger fingers of the Ultramarines there. I'm also going to be very worried about the Typhon when it shoots in. I hope it hits. Because if I roll a miss, then the Brutal 4 siege cannon could do a lot of damage to me. The second Leviathan is busting its way around. I want to keep the second one closer to my Warlord, just in case. Don't want to lose the Warlord. And by pivoting the Typhon round, I'm kind of opening up its side armor to the Land Raider back there as well. But we continue our long march down past the statue in the middle of the battle grid. Then down on this side, there's the 2 remaining plasma dudes. The multi-melter guys are here. And then there's a unit of breachers with Volkite calibers and a unit of breachers with bolt guns trying to do something about this flank. There's a lot of Ultramarines on this flank, and there's another tactical squad inside that Rhino there. Rhinos move a long way in Heresy, 14 inches. It can bust right, it can bust left. Probably doesn't want to come straight up the gut towards all those Grave Warden Terminators and my Praetor. But we have many of the filthy loyalists in range now. So let's unleash hell. Let's start off with these breachers.
Our personal hygiene is none of your business.
Filthy loyalists. You haven't washed since Calth.
And of all the legions to be making that accusation, Death Guard.
Exactly. That's what we know, the filth stuff. And we know you haven't washed since Calth because all your plumbing got bombed. And we appreciate the smell. To be fair, these guys on Solace are a long way from Calth. And they probably don't even know why the Death Guard have turned on them.
No, they probably don't even know what's happened on Calth.
Yeah. Okay, let's shoot a bunch of Volkites into this team.
Which unit are you shooting from?
This unit here. Yeah, not reacting. You got the feel no pain, and this is just anti-infantry fire, hitting on 3s. Volkite charges, wound on 3s. Armor saves of 3+.
Feel no pain, 5+.
3 guys gone, and then deflagrate. That's another 2 wounds. 2 more saves. So squad number 1 took out 3. Now we're on to squad number 2 with lots of bolt guns firing in. You're returning fire to this lot.
Fire, yeah.
Okay. Bolt gun fire for the win on 3s. That one's really cocked. And forced to wound. 4 3-up saves. And none of them are injured anyway. Then you return fire.
Okay, plasma pistol from the sergeant.
Yes. Hits. Breaches. 5-up and bun. You kill one.
Hurrah! Then 2 bolter shots from the Herald, which will hit on 2s.
They both hit. None of them wound.
Then the rest of the squad rapid firing.
3s to hit. And these are wound on 4s. 4 more 3-up saves. I lose 2 in total. So while we're caught in a firefight on this flank, and while there's a Herald walking straight down towards our lines with a big banner flapping in the wind, let's drop some Scorpii missiles straight on top of that banner. Can't shroud this either because you've already reacted and the first shot hits and the second shot hits. Bajillion hits come through, which are going to wound on 2s. In the end, 2 armor saves and 8 guys just by the farm.
The armor's good. It's good.
Boom, that was painful. Just the sergeant left in that squad, and the apothecary and the banner. That was painful. Down in the middle, all the poison shots can't hurt any of the things that I'm in line of sight and range of. So we're coming across to this Leviathan. There's a big crate under there. I can't actually see that team. So this Leviathan will try and kill the Rhino with the multi-melter on top of it. Plan is kill 1 multi-melter, then shoot all the other stuff into the teams with the melters. But let's see if we can hit that Rhino on 2s. We missed twice. Strength 8, you're not in armor bane range. And only 1 penetrating hit. There is cover in the way. I'm shooting around the side of a building. Can you roll a 6?
No.
You don't roll a 6. This is AP1. And that weapon destroys. That shot just ripped off the pintle-mounted combi bolter because the pintle-mounted counts as defensive. So that Rhino will still be very combat effective. Right. Let's shoot the nasty Typhon at the squad right in front. No point in returning fire against this because flare shielded Typhon.
Yeah, I'm not close enough for armor bane.
Yeah, no point in shrouding it either because it's brutal 4. We're going to put the blast marker there. See if we hit. Oh yeah, we hit. Strength 12. Brutal 4. When the smoke clears, 7 are dead. Our Mistos stood there. Still a chunk remaining though, so let's fire everything from the Leviathan in.
Return fire!
Returning fire with this, okay. I'll do all the guns together because it all hits on 2s. There's 2 ones. And wounds on 2s. Only 2 wounds. 2 5-up saves from the ruins. That kills a couple more. But return fire!
Okay, so the 3 are hitting on 3s with a reroll because twin linked.
Yes.
Thank the Emperor for twin linked.
They all hit.
And the Mistos will hit on a 2 with twin linked.
Yes. Thank the Emperor for twin linked. Okay, forced to wound. Rerolling for armor bane. That is 4 wounds. 4, 5 open vulnerable saves. I make 1. It's down to 6 wounds remaining. Sorry, 3 wounds remaining. It was on 6. Moving around here, last thing left to fire will be a bunch of chargers firing at your bikes. Here are the ones that can actually see and can shoot. We are hitting on 3s. We wound the bikes on 3s. 5 threat saves. 2 get through. Deflagrate. That's 2 more saves to make. Just 2 get through. That'll take out one of the bikers. And with that, the guns of the Death Guard fall silent, causing casualties to the multi-melter team. Definitely causing casualties to this team with the banner with the herald over here. That's the end of my shooting phase, so no morale down here. The multi-melter team are going to need to take a morale before they get charged by this dreadnought. Leadership 9 with the Armistos. And what was that?
It's 12.
It's a 12. You rolled a 12.
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
No fear.
They know a bit of fear.
They know quite a bit. Quite a bit.
You got a Vexilla there. You fall back 1d6 inches.
Or more if I choose. Can you fall back into a vehicle?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. Yes, you embark and disembark in vehicles in the movement phase, either yours or mine.
Yeah.
So not movement phase.
It's just weird that they're going to go around it.
They're running away.
Okay, I'm not going to use my Vexilla. I'm going to run 2d6 inches.
That's a good shout. The Armistos is like, no, let's get out of here. That's only 3 inches.
Because I'm broken, I can't react.
So they break and run. What about the bikes? Don't fail with the bikes.
I can't do it again, can I?
No. You can't do it again. The bikes are fine. That is the end of the... So now we're going to charge. The Leviathan Dreadnought is going to try and charge them.
I can't react.
Can't react. They've got your back turned to me. And I've rolled a 6. And Leviathan Dreadnoughts have moved through cover, so I ignored the minus... But it's still not far enough. You were 6.5 inches away. Just enough. That braking... Combat breaking, the Armistos telling them to break. That worked.
Ironically, if I'd only rolled the 1d6, you'd have got me.
Yeah. That's the end of my shooting phase. That's the end of turn 2. They'll need to regroup. We'll do that now.
It's into your turn 2.
My turn 2. You've got a turn. Let's see if they regroup. Need a 9, or are they going to keep going? They are going to regroup. They're fine. Can they see your warlord for the special thing? They can't see us.
He's in tanky McTank face.
Okay, so let's find out how the Ultramarines respond to this reckless hate in turn 2. In the Ultramarines movement phase, there is a push down the right and the left flanks. The missile team over here are finally moving, so they're only going to be snap firing. Probably up the plasma team that shot them last turn. I'm not sure if I caught them on camera, but I missed. But yeah, they're marching forward along with the Herald and the Apothecary and this guy with a Power Fist. No close combat weapons in the Breacher Squad down here. And there is a Power Sword and Power Fist in the Ultramarines force. Plus that unit is fearless. Plus they grant Fear 1. We can see the banner flying in front of us and we're trembling a little bit. There's another tactical squad have jumped out of that Rhino there after you did some shuffling in the backfield with the Land Raider. Pulling back. The Land Raider and your Praetor is in defensive mode. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to shatter strike any lines anytime soon. But they're staying back, calling the Death Guard forward. As we continue our remorseless advance, the Land Raider shots down the centre of the table. You regrouped with these fellas. They've moved round over here. Big gap in the middle, by the way. Huge gap. Until all the way down on this side, there's a tactical squad, there's a tactical support squad with plasma, there's the bikes. I've got, 7 breachers remaining down here. They're trying to push hard on both the right and left flanks. And they've got enough gun to break on through, but the Death Guard have got enough gun with the Typhon, with the Scorpiuses, and we've got enough gun to spray and pray at them as they try and break their way around the edges. But where are we starting off the shooting phase, Paul? Do you know where you want to start?
Yeah, we'll do the multi-melters first.
Start off with the multi-melters.
Yep.
Over here, into Mr. Leviathan Dreadnought. Who's
Rhino.
firing first? The Rhino.
On a 3.
It hits.
Hits. Doesn't wound, but Armor Bane still doesn't wound.
Okay.
Okay, that means the snap firing guys are going to hit on 5. Now the Armistos is snap firing this time, so it's all 5s to hit with a reroll.
I think I'm returning fire because you could potentially kill me, so I'd like to kill you back again.
Yep.
Okay, so 5s to hit, with the reroll, we have 1 hit, and it wounds. And I failed to save. The Leviathan Dreadnought is down to 2 wounds remaining. Then it fires all the melters back again on 2s. And this will wound on 2s. I do 3 wounds back again into that squad. 5 up saves. And I take 3 of them out. That leaves the Armistos just staring at this Leviathan Dreadnought, which is angry, leaking oil on 2 wounds remaining. So because it's not dead, he voxes through to the plasma support team here, and he got 20 plasma shots firing through the window at the Leviathan. So they hit on 3s, and we've got to do 2 at a time, because it gets hot. And that gets hot with a 3 up save. He's okay. And then we have to do it again and again and again. So let's roll all the hits off camera, because this is going to take some time. A few moments later, 16 hits and none of you guys died.
Yeah?
Yeah. First time that's ever happened.
Yeah?
5s to breach. 4.
4.
I've got 2 wounds left. 4. 5 up and vulnerable saves. No, the Leviathan is gone and he detonates. 6 inches will hit your Armistos and wounds the Armistos, who have a 2 up save. And he doesn't die in the explosion. Hits the side of that Rhino as well and doesn't pen it.
Doesn't damage it.
So the first of the Ancients has fallen, but there's still a lot of firepower on this flank. These breaches are in trouble. Starting off with a tracer fire from the Rhino coming into them, and they both hit. And one of them wounds. And you don't take one of them out. But the bikers and the tactical squad that now firing at them will all be hitting on 2s. A bajillion dice rolls later, when the dust settles, that breacher team of Death Guard have been entirely annihilated, and suddenly there is a gap, there is a hole through which the Ultramarines could potentially speed on through. This flank, they're breaking. Now we're into the middle of the thing. You've got the Land Raider. What are you firing up with the Land Raider?
Okay, so I'm going to fire the heavy bolters at the Terminators.
Yes.
Firing this last cannon
Yes.
at the Typhon.
Yes.
And this last cannon is not firing because in order to disembark these tactical Marines here, I had to drive it in front of the last cannon.
But
I know technically I could fire it over, but there's not the eye. It's the way I gain.
can hit the Typhon.
It's so close to that Rhino.
Yes.
I can't get line of sight of the Typhon without getting clearance over the Rhino. So I refuse.
But you can shoot
I refuse.
it up a bit and
light bends.
Yeah.
I've got a giant prism here that's just going to refract it. No.
Yes.
No.
You can shoot.
No.
Okay.
One last cannon, 2 shots.
Right. You both hit. And sunder, so you can re-roll those, and you need to re-roll them both.
Flare shield, is it all round the flare shield?
It's side armor 14, but your strength 9. So that was.
Sorry, yes. Mathematics, not my strong suit.
And that's a glancing hit. There's a 6 in the way. A 6 up cup. No, you take a hull point off the Typhon.
Okay, and then the Terminators.
Yes. Twin linked. Wounds on 2s.
3s.
3s. Terminators are good.
Yep.
No wounds done to the Terminators. This Typhon's on 5 wounds remaining. Are you sure you don't want to shoot 2 more last cannons out?
Yes.
The rules say you could. You could.
Yeah, but they also say you can. They don't say you must.
Okay.
And I elect not to. It is my right to not fire a weapon I don't choose. That rule's in there so you don't have to fire plasma weapons or gets hot weapons. But it also helps narrative play for people like me who choose not to in that kind of scenario.
Say it also does a wound to your Rhino as it shoots through your Rhino then.
But there's no rule, there's no mechanic for that. Then we're just... All right, I tell you what. But no, I'm not firing it. I wouldn't fire it through the Rhino. That's the whole point of not firing the weapon.
Death Guard.
Allies are danger clear. We are not Death Guard.
So after the last cannons, we came over here. There was some pistol fire into this breacher squad, no damage caused. And now you're doing the tactical squad into my breacher squad with the bolters.
Yeah. Down
here, there's a gunfire erupting in this ruin down here. I've just done 1 return fire so far. No, I'm waiting to see what that shoots at. The big Derrideo. Have it at you.
Plasma pistol?
Yes.
Misses. Bolter shots?
Yes. 3s. And 4s. And 3 up saves. You take out 2 of them. Okay, so that'll be enough for a leadership test for them. Now we've only got a couple of units left to fire. The missile team and the Derrideo. And the Derrideo, you've decided, now you've moved it round. You can see through the ruins into the multi-melter team.
Yep.
Am I returning fire with this? I mean, that Derrideo is going to be problematic. No, I think I'm going to shroud. That's more Death Guardy. We'll shroud. We'll evade this.
Okay.
Let off some smoke clouds. Are you doing the straight shots? Doing the straight shots.
I'm doing the straight shots.
Okay.
6, I believe.
Yeah. 2s to hit. You hit 4 times. And 2s to wound, 4's breach. Okay, so 2 saves. 2 3-up saves. 2 5-up saves. I'm okay. I'm good.
Ha! 3 shots from the missiles.
Oh no, that was 6-up saves. One was a 6. And then the shroud. No, so that was 6-up cover save. It should have been a 6-up, then a 5-up. So that's 1 dead. Yeah, that's how that works. ALOS. The ALOS shots hits all the times, wounds on 2s, wounds twice, so 6-up cover, then a 5-up shroud. So one of them dies, they take a pinning test from ALOS. We're not pinned. That's 2 of 3. Now the heavy bolters hit on 2s and wound on 3s. We have all 4 wounds, 3-up saves, 5-up shrouding. You take out the squad. That was wildly successful. Talking about something that might be wildly successful, the missile teams.
Yeah, snapfire and cracks. You can't snapfire frags.
Yeah, and my plasma team.
At the plasmas, yeah.
So if you get any 6s.
I'm not going to get the +1 because I fire the Derrideo at a better target, but one of the strengths of wisdom is sometimes knowing not to use the strength of wisdom.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3 hits with the missile launchers. Nice.
I'm starting to feel a little guilty.
2s to wound.
But not that guilty.
5-up ruin save. We are in a ruin. And the plasma team, there's 1 fella left standing. It's the end of the shooting phase. Does he run away? No. The team down here that got tactical and tactical action. No. They're good too. And I think that's it for morale.
-1 leadership because they're within 12 inches of the fear-causing banner.
You're right. That is a fail. We are going back 9 inches. Yeah, this team break. They don't like that standard flapping. The wind shines too bright for our chaos filthy eyes. And that's it for the shooting phase. We've got a charge.
We do. For the Emperor! No.
Right, that's a failed charge.
Not so much.
And we're overwatching. 2 failed charges. 2 attempted charges and 2 failed charges so far. Anyway, let's Volkite charge you. That was terrible shooting. How about wounding? We only do 6 wounds with those 20 shots. How do you want to tank this?
Right, well, I'm going to take them all on the Sergeant until the Sergeant dies.
Right.
Then I'll move on to the Herald.
And he's got Artie, right?
The Sergeant?
Yeah.
No.
No?
I don't put Artificer armor on my Sergeants.
Okay.
But as a matter of course.
Okay. He's alive. He's alive. He's alive. He's alive. He's alive. And he's fine. He's fine. Nothing to see here. You don't need Artificer armor. So, in my movement phase, I rolled to regroup the breachers. Thought they'll be fine. They're not going to fail morale twice in a row. And I'm still within 12 inches of your banner.
Yeah.
And I failed. And then I rolled like an 11 or something. And they've gone. They've gone off the table. The banner is too shiny. So I've got some dudes left here who haven't moved. Volkite charges are assault weapons anyway. I think I'm going to go in. I think I'm going to shoot everything and go in. I can see something with the plasma guy. I can drop some templates in from the Scorpius's Scorpii. The Terminators, well, we're just chonking up the table. Next turn, it's turn 3. Still haven't fired my guns. Still haven't charged anything. Some of their assault grenade launchers might better hurt that Rhino a little bit, but that's about the only thing we can see. And maybe in turn 4, I'll get some charges in. Surely the Praetor or the Ultramarines isn't just going to go pedal to the metal and get the Land Raider out of there. Surely he's going to be good for a fight.
Just been drawing you in.
Drawing me in. Very tactical. Leviathan came round the corner. The Armistos went, 1 minute, there's another one of them, and reacted and stepped away behind that Rhino.
Yeah, he thought it was a speck of hot sauce on his scanner, but it turned out to be another Leviathan.
Another Leviathan. And you've gifted me the shot. Look at the Typhon. Look at it.
Yeah,
look at this pile.
I did not think that through.
There's a huge pile here. I'll remember to fire my lance cannons in this time as well. So let's start here and drop a template on this guy's head. So the
You got all 5 units. Yeah.
That team could choose to react, but it's gonna hit lots of things. So you're not shrouding anything. No point in shrouding a brutal force.
Well, I was going to return fire, but I can't penetrate the flare shield.
Yeah.
And the sergeant will have calculate, save your ammo.
The interesting thing is I can see you, so I do -4 to my scatter, but no Nuncio Voxes can see you. So if I do scatter... Anyway, let's see if we hit. No, that will be a hit. First up on the Rhino. So that's a penetrating hit on the Rhino. It has a 6-up cover save. No, and that just shakes it again, and that drops it down to 1 hull point. Right, and it hits 7 of the tactical squad and 6 of the Legion Recon squad. So the 7 tactical dudes, I'm wounding 5 of them, and no amount of cover saves will keep you safe from brutal 4. Here's the guys going into the Legion Recon. They get wounded 6 times. Legion Recon squad, Legion Support squad. That's 6 of them dead as well. And now the 2 last cannons into the same squad. Both of them hit. Both of them wound. 2 more 6-up saves on the support squad. No, that's 8 out of 10 of that squad wiped out. Kaboom boom. Big bada boom. Lots of morale tests to take down here. That Typhon is nasty. Right, 18-inch range for my grenade launchers on the Grave Warden Terminators. Let's measure up. See how many can shoot the side of that Rhino. I've got 7 in range, firing the crack version of their grenades, which hit on 3s, and these are strength 6. We get 3 glancing hits. Some of the side armour is obscured, so 3 6-up saves, and you only take 1 hull point. The Rhino's still alive on 2 hull points remaining. And I'm running out of gun already. So down here, Breacher team number 2. The only one left, in fact, will fire everything at that banner. Try and tear that banner down, hitting on 3s. Wounding on 3s. That was bad. 7 saves, taking them all on the sergeant again.
I've got to do them one at a time because if he dies, the apothecary instantly disappears.
Yes. He's alive. He's alive. He's alive. He's alive. He's still alive. Stop it now. Stop it. Stop it. He makes every single save. Okay, so
what a hero.
He's just made 17 3-up saves or something. I think, Artificer armor's broken. I think 3-up saves are broken. You know what? It should be banned.
Armour. Power armour.
You may every single one. I'm back here. I just remembered my Leviathan Dreadnought can shoot that Rhino. So
Return fire!
The little guy on top is like, quick! Shoot it. There's another one coming. He's coming around the corner. This is the Armour Bane gun, the Cyclone Melter Lance, which is in range. So they all hit. And the first shot pens, and then pens, and then pens, and then 4 penetrating hits with no cover. It is dead. Let's do your return fire, though. Let's do your return fire.
Come on!
He hits. Forced to wound.
He wounds.
5-up save. I make the save. And then...
The energy dissipated by the adamantite thingy thing.
That's the one, yeah. The shielding thing. Right. AP 1 shots into Rhino. Dead Rhino. It dies. It blows up 5 inches, hits the Armistos behind and wounds him, and he has a 2-up save. And he doesn't get taken out by the explosion.
Hits the other Rhino.
Does it?
Yeah.
I'm in range of the other Rhino. That's a 5.
It's a pen.
That's a penetrating hit on the other Rhino, which stuns it in place. Interestingly. Okay, so that one's down to 1 hull point and that's shaken. That one's down to 2 hull point and stunned and locked in place. And suddenly the flank around here, the flank attack is slowed down. You've still got the Armistos here. He was trying to jump back into his ride, but his ride has gone. And then there's a Leviathan Dreadnought barreling down the street towards him. And now finally, I have 2 Scorpius's missile launchers. I just have to try and drop it on your missile team, particularly as I have a Nuncio Vox here, redirecting some of the traffic. You got another reaction. You taking cover?
Take cover!
Oh, yeah.
To evade.
Yes. The first shot. Right, it scatters the full distance, so let's re-roll that with Nuncio Voxes. So left a bit, right. Oh. Lands off the table, so that means the whole shots are gone. The barrage is landing on something on another battle grid, and that is the end of my shooting phase. So we had morale over here. We were starting with.
Have I got any negatives for having been fired at by the massive thing?
No. It's just who's left standing.
So 8s.
They're okay.
And this guy, the sergeant, was nearer the centre of the explosion, so I pulled him as a casualty, so they need 7.
They're
What's
okay. All right, they didn't mind that
They
big
know no fear.
boom of doom. Do I charge in? I feel like my return fire and my Overwatch is going to be more brutal than charging in. But if I just stand there, I'm going to get shot at by a bunch of missile launchers. And they're Death Guard. And you're right in front of me. So I feel like they would charge in. So we are going to charge in.
Right, I am going to react, but I need to rules question you.
Yes.
Can you hold the line if you're fearless?
You automatically pass.
Is that? I thought you couldn't do it because you were fearless.
No, you can do it. You can. Fearless units are considered to automatically pass morale tests. It's a morale test. Primarchs can basically auto hold the line all the time.
I love the fact hold the line means you might run and get wiped. I love that mechanic. But I thought I had somehow had it in my head that you couldn't do it if you were fearless. But hold the line.
Yeah, it's a thing. Primarchs all the time, bracing all the time, particularly when getting charged by another Primarch. Because a lot of Primarchs, not all of them, but some of the Primarchs have bonuses like sudden strike or things like that. So it's a thing. I mean, imagine Lehman Russ digging his heels in because he's just about to get charged by Angron. It's a thing you can do. I rolled a 3 on my charge, I only got there. You got a Herald that'll fight first with chainsword, bolt pistol.
No bolt pistol. He has to swap his bolt pistol for the banner.
Okay.
So just chainsword.
Just chainsword. It hits on 3s. That is 2 hits. And he wounds both of the times. And of course he takes 2 out. What a G. Can the Apothecary match him? He has 3 attacks. This will happen at the same time as my breaches.
He has a power sword.
Okay, no.
But no, he can't.
Right. Let's do my guys. Right, we're hitting back on 4s. And we're going to be wounding you on 3s because of rat grenades. Right, how many saves can you tank now? That's 3 more wounds.
Right, there's 3 guys in base-to-base combat. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take 1 on each.
4 more wounds, sorry.
4 more wounds. Right, well, I'm going to take 2 on the Sarge because he's nearest to a whole bunch.
Okay.
And then I'm going to take 1 on the Herald and 1 on the Apothecary.
Okay.
I'll do the 1 on the Apothecary first.
Right.
He's fine.
Right.
1 on the Herald. He takes a wound.
Feel no pain. He takes a wound. He's down to 1 remaining.
And then 2 on the Sarge. He takes a wound. Feel no pain. But he is good.
Okay, so the banner bearer is down to 1 wound remaining.
He is. But the Sergeant has a power fist.
Yes. Fisting time. Did I say that out loud?
You did.
The what now?
The He-Man character, I believe he was called Fisto.
Right.
And whenever he would talk about his fights, he was saying, I fisted them good.
Yeah, that's the thing now.
That was the thing in the 80s.
Yeah, 2 attacks with the Sergeant. Do that again, because you rolled 3 dice. Sergeants have 2 attacks.
Right. But they did all hit.
Oh, yeah, so 2 of them hit, and then wound with them. Wound them. 1 wound. 1 wound comes through, 5 up and vulnerable save. I make it.
Splendid. That is karmically correct for my rolling the wrong number of dice.
I lost the combat by 1, but 2 because you fear 1.
Yep.
So, leadership 6. We hold. So at the end of turn 3, locked up on the left flank, pushing through in the middle flank. Armistos running for the hills. And this team on this flank getting shelled, while the Praetor of the Ultramarines, with his Legion veterans, with the Terminators, is right at the back of the battle grid inside that Land Raider there. Will he break out? Is he coming forward to the party? Or is he still going to direct traffic? Let's find out in Ultramarines, turn 3. The Ultramarines are swinging around the flanks on the right and the left. The missile team continuing its long march down towards the enemy deployment zone, trying to get range into the last plasma dude, which I did remember to fire again. Got hot, didn't kill me, didn't do it. My plasma basically done nothing all game. So he deserves to die, honestly, even though they're snap firing. Last time they killed a chunk. Maybe they can kill a chunk more. Meanwhile, they're locked up in combat. Now, the team that jumped out and rapid fired me got back inside the Rhino. So the Rhino could then zoom down towards the enemy deployment zone, but it threw a track as it tried to bust through the wall, became immobilized.
Yeah.
So it's on 1 hull point back there. An immobilized Rhino, still in your deployment zone. In turn 3.
Full of dudes.
Full of dudes. But in the middle of the battle grid, the Praetor for the Ultramarines is out. Looking at the Grave Warden Terminators. Next to the Land Raider, within 6, is the Deradeo Dreadnought as well. That's going to have some shots down Central Street. That should be nasty. Then we move all the way over to this flank. You'll notice the Armistos isn't here anymore because he ran back inside Rhino. Not the stunned Rhino. The stunned Rhino is empty. He ran back into Rhino number 2 with the tactical squad. It's busting down the street. Here's the remainder of the plasma team. Just 2 guys, backs to the wall, trying to stay very, very quiet from the Dreadhammer siege cannon from the Typhon. The bikes are following them up on this flank as well. So some penetration on the left already. It's been brutal. We've been tearing chunks out of each other. No idea how this is going to go. But at least the Praetors are staring at each other for the first time as we go into the shooting phase. Starting with the Land Raider, firing all of its guns into the Typhon for once. I'm going to shroud. It's going to pop smoke. It's going to evade this.
Not all its guns, the las cannons.
Okay, and then the heavy bolters
are going into those.
Right, 4 las cannons into Typhon on 3s. We only have 2 hits, so you need 5s to glance, 6s to pen, but you have got Sunder, so you can re-roll that.
No,
nothing. Bounces off the side of the Typhon. Heavy bolters with twin linked, hit 3 times and wound on 3s.
2
2-up saves. I fail them both.
Go on!
They have a natural 6-up shrouding. I fail them both. You did get one.
Go on!
So the Land Raider managed to take a target out, but can the Deradeo take out more? You're putting the blast marker there. I'm definitely shrouding this. Even though I have a 6-up shrouding, I'm shrouding this. This could hurt.
Yeah, but it might get hot.
It might get hot. It does get hot.
It got hot!
You have a 2-up save on that. So your Deradeo is fine, but because you get hot on a blast marker, the gun is overcooked. It doesn't fire. It jams up in the breech.
But I've still got missiles.
It's got missiles. Missiles hit all the times and wound on 2s. Missiles wound all the times. These are 2-up saves. And a 5-up shroud.
Got another one!
And a pinning test. I'm not pinned at least. Small arms killing my Terminators. Heavy bolters with the twin linked. Everything hits. Wounds on 3s. This means I'm going to lose another one, isn't it?
No, you can't do it again.
I'm fine. To be fair, it could have been a lot worse if that big pie plate had hit them.
Yeah. Now, this is where the game-winning tactic-y type thing to do is not to shoot you, because you're going to shoot back with all that horrible death.
I've done both of my reactions.
Oh, but I'm going to fire at you anyway.
Brilliant. You got a heavy flamer, that's hitting 4 of them. And the heavy flamer wounds on 3s. That is 2 wounds.
3 wounds.
3 wounds. 3 wounds. 3 2-up saves. I'm good. Praetors firing the Magna Combi Melter on a 2.
2.
He misses. Of course. It always misses the combi weapons. I don't know why anyone ever brings them.
He's never hit with that.
No. Now 8 shots with the combi bolters. Hitting on 2s. Twin linked. 2s because of Ultramarines. Twin linked because that's what they do. 4s to wound. We have 4 wounds. 4. 2-up saves. I'm good. So only losing 2 Grave Wardens in the middle. I'll definitely take that. However, we've got lots of snap firing missile launchers firing into my plasma dude, who's been useless all game. And you hit once, twice, that's all you need. You get 2 wounds, and he's gone. Then we found some more shots. There's some bikers here, and they're going to try and shoot the side of a Scorpius. Hitting on 3s. They can actually hurt the side of the Scorpius, but they need 6s.
They do.
And there's 2 6s. They're slightly obscured. Doesn't help me. One of them drops down to 1 hull point remaining. And at the Ultramarine shooting phase, they've got rid of the heavy support teams entirely. They've hurt the Grave Warden Terminators in the middle of the battle grid as they try and sneak around the right and left. Onto the charge phase. Do you want to charge?
The gamer in me knows this is just suicide, pouring my Cataphracti into an overwatching blender.
Yes.
But we march for McCrag, and we know no fear.
And you will make the charge, and we are definitely overwatching. Dude, I've got a bajillion poison grenade shots coming in. These are hitting on 3s. Poison 3 up. This is 20.
Which is perfect, because there's 20 blue dice. I was afraid I'd have to roll some red ones.
22 up saves. How many 1s? That 1-1.
One.
Okay. Volkite Charger on my Praetor. Hits once. Wounds. One more 1, please. No.
No.
I just injure 1 on the way in and you make the charge. Right. At the end of the charge phase, it looks like this. Your Praetor's got a Chain Fist, so initiative low. At initiative 5, here's my Praetor at the back and out of position. So after piling in, he's not going to fight this round of combat. So next we go to initiative 4. All my Grave Wardens have got fists, you see. So you've got a sergeant with a sword. Your sergeant's hitting on 4s with a sword. He hits twice. Strength. He wounds. He doesn't wound.
Doesn't wound.
We're down to initiative 1. Lots and lots of initiative 1. Start off with your Praetor. He's got 5 attacks on the charge and he hits on 3s. He's a Praetor. With a Chain Fist, he's going to be wounding on 2s. And that is 4 wounds. We'll add it to the pile. And all the Chain Fists and Power Fists are hitting on 4s. And that's okay. Strength 8 wounding on 2s with all of these. And we'll add it to the... Right, we'll add it to the 5 you've already done. The 4 you already did. 9 in total. 9, 4 up and vulnerable saves. So I fail 4, I pile in, I've got 8 Grave Wardens that can fight. So 17 attacks back in total, hitting you on 4s. They all come with Power Fists as standard. Winning on 2s. Winning on 2. How many 1s did I just roll? I rolled
7.
7 1s.
I'm actually hoping I fail both of these.
2 4-up saves.
I'm very sorry, bud.
You lose a guy. So that last ditch charge from you actually worked out quite well.
My practical matched my theoretical.
Yeah.
Whittled them down,
Yeah.
draw them in, hit them like a hammer.
I mean, we've each got a Praetor and 4 Terminators left.
Yeah, that's fairly evenly matched now. Although your Praetor is going to go before mine.
Yeah.
You've got a Paragon Blade or
It's a Paragon Blade.
Paragon Blade.
Hopefully I'll be able to hit or wound next turn. Anyway, that happened. I think my Leviathan might actually have to turn around and try and help them out. We still have 1 more combat to do, however. Down here, Breaches versus Herald, Sergeant and Apothecary. Herald first, initiative 5.
Chainsword.
He hits all the times.
Wounds twice.
And I make both of the saves. You can do the Apothecary with your Power Sword. He's got 3 attacks. And he hits this time twice. And he wounds once. 5 up and vulnerable save. One of my guys dies. But before he fell over, I punch back and land 5 blows and wound twice. I wound twice. I wound twice. Where are you putting them?
Okay. I'm going to randomise where they're going to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Right, okay.
1, 2, both on the Herald.
Okay.
They're going to try and stab the Herald up.
He has a 2-up save. He makes his saves. And then your Sergeant, with a Power Fist, punches back on 4s and hits once. Wounds once. I make the invulnerable save. So I lost the combat by 1, 2 because of fear, 1, and we break. So you have a chance to run down. Initiative, roll off. Unless you roll a 6, and you do roll a 6, because Heralds are initiative higher, they run down the entire squad. With the banner still flying, with the Ultramarines pressing ever closer towards the Death Guard lines, and with the 2 Praetors locked in mortal combat in the middle of the battle grid. You're on to Death Guard turn 4. Right, so it's all rather simple for the Death Guard. The Typhon has got to try and hold down this flank with its massive barrage of doom. The Scorpiuses will have to try and hold this flank with its barrages of doom if they can actually hit. This is where these guys ended up after consolidating forward. And the Leviathan Dreadnought has been called into the fight by my Praetor. And that's it. So let's start the shooting phase by firing 2 massive Scorpiuses. In at these? Yes, in at these. The banner must fall. Here's the first shot. Can't see. No line of sight. Scatters off the table and misses.
Do you not?
No.
Oh.
No. None of them. No. They're all gone. So over on this flank, let's shoot the bikes. Put that there. This one, that's going to be a hit on all the bikes. This will kill the bikes on 2s. The bikes, 2 of them are dead. And then the last cannons, one of them hits. and kills the other bike, because bikes never have cover. Yes, Paul chose to evade those shots, but it didn't help him out. The bikes are dead. Did the evading off camera. That's it for the shooting phase. The Leviathan Dreadnought's going to charge now. We will need to get up and over some crates, so this is going to be a long charge. That's an 11. That's a very long charge. He clambers up and over and comes smashing in. Okay, this could work. So first up, impact hits. Hammer of Wrath from the Leviathan Dreadnought. That is 3 hits at initiative 10. So, 2 up saves. You're good. Now we're down to initiative 5. So my Praetor powers in. He gets to fight. Strikes out at the unit on 3s. Hits twice. Paragon Blade is strength 5. And that's instant death. So 4 up invulnerable save on the 6.
Against the instant death one?
Yes. And then just a 4 up invulnerable save. It doesn't do instant death. You're okay. Then you've got a power sword on your sergeant who can fight. And I'll go with my Leviathan Dreadnought. Here's the power sword on your sergeant.
Some people would have taken him off as a casualty.
I told you to take off the power sword on the sergeant.
He's the Sarge.
And I knew you'd say that.
Last to die.
That's why we love you. 2 hits. 4's to wound.
6 is to round 1. 2 up save.
I'm okay. Then we're on to Leviathan Dreadnought. 5 attacks on the charge at weapon skill 5, hitting on 3s. Every single thing hit. This is strength 10, brutal 3, siege claw.
You used up all your 1s earlier, so you'll get all these.
Except for that one. Those are 4 times 3 saves. Brutal 3, the first guy. Dead.
Second guy.
Dead. It's instant death. Third guy. Dead. And the last guy? The Leviathan Dreadnought for the win. Taking out all the Terminators.
No.
Leaving the Praetor standing.
Gonna kill the 4 nearest things.
But the Praetor, one of them is your Warlord.
I know one of them's my Warlord, but I can't justify pulling him as a casualty from him.
You can. Your Warlord could have dodged right, dodged left.
I can't.
Okay, well, let's see if this one fella can survive then. He strikes back with his power fist. On 4s. He hits once. He wounds. 4 up and vulnerable save for me. I failed so many, I feel like I'm due one.
You are.
I'm due one.
You're due one.
Then I pile in with the 2 guys that can hit him. Let's try and strike him down. One of them is the sergeant. 2's to wound. He has 3, 4+ invulnerable saves. To be fair, your Praetor would have died as well. That clears the entire squad. Leviathan Dreadnought rescuing my Praetor there. Despite their heroic actions in the middle of the battle grid, an Ultramarine hero has fallen, and the Death Guard are pushing closer and closer to the Loyalist lines. However, we're going to go on to turn 4 for the Ultramarines, and there is gaps. There is gaps all the way across this battle grid. So let's find out what they do in turn 4. Alright, here's the breakthrough on the right flank. The Armistos with the Tactical Marines in that squad. And then the 2 remaining plasma guys have jumped back in. This Rhino, it's no longer stunned. Zipping down towards this end of the battle grid. And here's the breakthrough with the banner on the other flank. Running forward, Sergeant Apothecary and Herald. Choosing to stay still with the missile launchers though. I mean, they could continue their long march up the table. This game can go on to turn 6 on a 50-50. They could get there. But they have got straight shots with their missiles through the windows of that ruin there, down into my Praetor and down into the Death Shroud Terminators. And there's a Land Raider there. There's a Tactical Squad there. There's a Deredeo there. There's a lot of gunfire and noise about to erupt into this street and destroy as many Death Guard as possible. We did start the shooting phase, however, to find out if this Rhino is no longer immobilized. It's no longer immobilized. So that can chonk around a bit later if it wants to. But let's continue with the shooting phase. Let's start with the Deredeo. Am I shrouding this shot or am I shrouding the shots from the Land Raider? Mind you, the Land Raider could shoot at the Typhon. So I guess I'm going to shroud this. You're not going to roll 1 twice in a row, are you? No, you're not. It
close.
Doesn't get a hot. You do shoot in ballistic skill 5 and that's a direct hit. It'll hit all 5 of them. 2's to wound. But 4's breach. This could sting. 2 2-up armor saves. I'm good. And then 2 4-up breaching saves with a 5-up shroud. Kills 1 Terminator. Let's strength 8, that doubles out, and now the ILOS comes in on 2s, and wounds on 2s, and I have a 2-up save. I'm good. And the heavy bolter, ka-chunk, 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 hits all the times and wounds on 3s. Wounds all the times. This is also 2-up saves. Terminator plate. I'm good. So 9 missiles are going to streak through those windows there, trying to destroy some Terminators. 3s to hit. That's a lot of 1s and 2s. 2s to wound. Okay, 2 of them got deflected by those crenellations there, Paul.
Indeed.
Yeah. 2-up saves. I'm okay. I'm okay because they would have doubled me out and destroyed me as well. So we have a tactical squad and a land raider. What are you shooting at with them?
Tactical next.
Tactical into Terminators?
Yeah, the tactical's only got one target. It can't hurt the Leviathan.
No.
So, well, the plasma pistol could, but I'm not doing that. So they're going to go into those, and then if by some miracle they're no longer there, he can shoot something else.
Nice. Plasma pistol. That's a hit. Breaches on a 4. That's a breach. 4-up invulnerable save. And a 6-up shroud. Naturally, no. I take a wound. You tickle 1. And a bajillion bolt guns come in. These are hitting on 2s. Overlapping fields of fire for the Ultramarines. Wounding on 4s. That's a lot of wounds. I'm touching the blue dice. I fail 1. 6-up shroud, naturally. Okay, that takes out 1 of them. So 2 Terminators remain with my Praetor. Now we have a Land Raider. What are we doing with Land Raider?
I've positioned that badly. I can't get both last cannons into the Terminators, so I'll do 1 into the Terminators, 1 into the Leviathan, and the heavy bolter into the Terminators.
If you shoot the Leviathan, I will return fire, and I think I'm in armor bane range. Are you sure you want to anger the Dreadnought that close?
I can't think of a legitimate reason to not fire the anti-tank gun at the walking tank.
Because
so,
it might shoot you back and see you coming. That's why it's
you're trying to suggest that the Leviathan does not recognise the Land Raider and doesn't know it's a threat, doesn't know its loadout.
He could be lining up his guns and making his way in there, and you've started shooting at him early, so he's going to start shooting at you early. Plus, you can shoot the Typhon. Look, it's all the way back here. It's in the middle of the street.
Come and look at the line of sight. You cannot shoot past that Leviathan with that sponsor.
I definitely wouldn't shoot the Leviathan. It's scary.
I'm shooting the Leviathan.
Final answer.
Yes, I'm not going to phone a friend. The audience is giving me the wrong answer, and there's no 50-50 about it. I'm shooting the Leviathan.
Okay, that's happening. Right, far away, sir.
Right, first of all, shoot the Terminators there.
Yes. Both of them hit. Both of them wound. 4-up and vuns. I'm okay.
And I'm shooting the heavy bolters.
Right. They're twin linked.
The 2s are a hit.
Okay, they all hit. And we have 3 wounds. Terminator plate saves. I'm good.
Okay.
Now the 2 ill-judged shots into the Leviathan.
If that's what the weapon is for.
We've got 2 hits. We have 2 wounds. 2 5+ automatic shielding saves. You take a wound off the Leviathan. And I'm in armor bane range, returning fire. And I hit 3 times. I need 6s. No 6s. I need 6. Yes, that's a pen. And 1 more. Okay, just 1 penetrating hit. He didn't anger it too much. No cover. Straight shot. AP1. And that's immobilized. Let's fire the one in his fist as well, which hits. And on a 6, it will take another whole point off. No. Just immobilize the Land Raider. So the Land Raider's on 4 wounds remaining. It got off lightly. That's the end of the shooting phase.
That was the story.
That's the story. That he got off lightly. I have a morale test to take on the Grave Warden Terminators. They hold. Are we charged? No, they can't charge. They jumped out of a Rhino. That's the end of turn 4. You've got scoring stuff back here. They must die. I've got a couple of units trying to push deeper into the Ultramarines' lines, but will they survive all the Overwatch? Will the Ultramarines manage to survive with a couple of units that they've managed to sneak around the outside? Let's find out in turn 5. It's all quite simple for me. In the middle of the street, Terminators, Leviathan chonking forward. Scorpiuses need to shoot one way. Typhon has pivoted around and moved back. Needs to shoot the other way. In at this Rhino, which has pop smoke, which is why we put the little bit of wool on it. So I need to kill both of these things. But there is a unit inside. And I kind of think I need it to go to turn 6 as well, I think. But I have got Slay the Warlord. Anyway, let's try and crack open this Rhino. No idea how this game's going to go. It's so close. Anyway, you're not evading here. Let's put 2 las cannons into it. One of them hits. And that's a penetrating hit. You've got a 6-up cover save because you pop smoke. No. And the result of that is an explodes result. So the blast template would have hit simultaneously. So that's the end of the shooting attack. But there's 6 guys that, and 5 of them get hit by the explosion. How many get out as it goes boom boom? All of them get out.
Power armor. Good stuff.
And because you didn't take a wound, you don't have to take a pinning test from the explosion, I think. Still have to take a pinning test, apparently. Leadership 9, there's a Armistos. This counts, though. You pass, because pinned units don't count as scoring to the end of the game. So let's get them out. You're putting them there, Paul.
Why wouldn't I?
Because that multi-melter in your Armistos is dangerously close to my Typhon now.
Which is a really good thing if you're me.
It's bad for me, but I like it. You put them there, multi-melter, a one-shot Armistos for the win. If you manage to pull this off, that'd be glorious. We're going to do some more shots. Scorpius Eye, try and make the banner drop. You're taking cover from this?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if I can hit. Guess what? I miss. Lands there. I need a direct hit on the second shot. Like that. That's good. So I'll hit 1 in the unit. And wound 1 in the unit. But you get a full armor save against that. And you make it. Damn it. That's a scoring unit. He makes them lots of points. Okay.
Well, it doesn't count as 2 units because he's a character and he's a unit.
Yeah.
He never counts for anything.
No. 3 points, basically. Many points. All the way over here. Right, you've done a react. Let's shoot all the guns from the Leviathan into Land Raider. Kill me that Land Raider. On 2s. And then looking for a 6. 1 gets through. 2 gets through. 2 gets through. The last one. 3 gets through. 3 at AP1. Point blank range into Land Raider. It's still not dead. It's on 1 hull point remaining, but it's immobilized and weapon destroyed and weapon destroyed. It's just a box. So the Land Raider's been ripped apart. Both of the last cannons gone. Now the last thing left to shoot is my Grave Warden Terminators. And they have firing protocols too. They have their grenade launchers. They also have these chem cloud projectors that both of them can puff out into the unit that we want to charge.
I bet you're glad I ran towards them.
Let's fire some grenade launchers in first because these hit on 3s. That one's really cocked. And then we'll add the chem cloud projectors to that because everything is poisoned 3 up. 12 3-up saves. Ouch.
Uh-oh.
That kills a bunch. And then the Praetor hits twice and wounds once with Deflagrate. So another 3-up save. Yeah, so it's just
7.
7?
7.
So there's 3 left remaining. That's the end of my shooting phase. They've got a morale test to take.
We know no fear.
Well, they might in a minute because we're charging with my captain's unit.
Hold the line!
We get in there and we're charging with the Leviathan. And the Leviathan gets in there. Pass the leadership test then to brace. You hold. Crump, we get in there. Let's do the attacks from the Leviathan into the Land Raider. Hitting vehicles on 2s at strength 10. That's a penetrating hit, a glancing hit. What does the pen do? The pen just wrecks it. It's AP2. That's a wrecked vehicle smoking in the back.
Doesn't it scale up to explode because it's already immobilized? Oh no, it's got.
Yeah,
it's already
immobilized and immobilized. It's just
it takes the guns off.
It's a box. It's a box. Then we're on to my Praetor, which you made disordered, hitting that squad on 3s, killing that squad on 3s. He only takes down 1 of them. And then you can fight back. You've got a fist and you've got a lone dude with a bayonet who strikes out on a 4. And he stabs me. Wounds on a 3 with a bayonet and he wounds me. And I make the save.
Clink, clink.
And then a power fist versus power fist. Power fist on the Grave Wardens, power fist on your sergeant. Can your sergeant take any down? You can't.
Not like that.
No, you can't. He misses. And then we fight you. I've got a sergeant in there. I hit 3 times. I'm going to kill on 2s. And I only kill 1. Only kill 1. And my Praetor killed 1. So you take a leadership test on your sergeant.
Oh.
And you fail, and he falls back 2 inches. You had no Vexilla left. You pulled the Vexilla away.
I was sweeping advance. Oh, the Cataphracti.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I can't sweep and advance you.
10.
He falls back 10. I can't chase you down. And at the end of the combat, the Derridair is the last thing standing there. Sergeant fleeing the battlefield. Land Raider in flames. That is the end of Death Guard. Turn 5. In the Ultramarines movement phase, the Derridair blocks the street, stands there, ready to sell his soul and destroy the Praetor of the Death Guard, backed up by the Rhino, which is reversing, and the heavy weapon team, which has moved round to try and get as many of those snap firing shots in as possible. That's a little fight going on deep in the Ultramarines deployment zone. Then there is a big gap. Huge areas of the battlefield opened up till we get back to my 2 artillery tanks down here. And on one side, there is an Armistos and a tactical squad, and melter bombs on the sergeant in the tactical squad. And on the other side, the banner is still flying high with the apothecary and the sergeant, who's been taking it all battle and still somehow in the fight. And there's also another unit all the way over here. The tactical support squad with the 2 plasma have hopped out of their Rhino, putting multiple Ultramarine units in the Death Guard deployment zone. The order was to shatter strike. The Ultramarines have certainly shatter striked, but can they stop the Death Guard rampaging through their own deployment zone? Let's find out in the shooting phase. So we started off with tracer fire from the Rhino. So other units that shoot in have benefits to hit, bonuses to hit. Rhino didn't kill a Terminator. Next, the missiles are firing in then. Only 7 of them have line of sight, so they're going to be hitting on 5.
And one of them is out of range of the Rhino. It's actually per model rather than the whole unit, which just make it awkward.
Okay.
So the 5s...
Yes. 1 hit.
1. And the 6... No.
2's to wound.
2's to wound. No.
Doesn't wound. Okay. It's just the Derridair.
Multiple shots.
Multiple shots. Straight shots. Pouring it on. 2's to hit. Where are we rolling? We're rolling here. Everything hits. 5 of them hit. These are 2-up saves, and these are 4-up invulnerable saves with a natural 6-up shrouding. So one of them takes a wound. Then 3 missile shots, trying to plink off that last wound. 2 of them hit. Both of them wound. And a 6-up shrouding. I haven't made a natural shrouding yet. And you kill one, and I take a pinning test. And at leadership 10, I'm not pinned because I've got a Praetor in that squad. But I'm down to 1 Terminator and my Praetor.
Could I find my heavy bolter, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
Twin linked. And I make the saves. Just my Praetor left with the Sergeant. Enough for a morale test though. But that's all the firepower down here. Now we're coming to the other side of the battle grid, where there's an Armistos who's got Relentless, who's shooting at the Typhon. And I'm shrouding, I'm evading this. The driver's reversing, he's jinking, he's moving around. You hit. So multi-melter in armor main range. Front armor 15 with a flare shield. And that's not a penetrating hit.
Oh, sad times.
That's just a glance. And I don't make my shrouding save. Just strips off a hull point. It's the end of the shooting phase, then you charge. And you're in. Sergeant with melter bombs for the win.
Sergeant with melter bombs.
Right, you'll clamp it in place with the 2. It clamps. Rear armor 13 on the Typhon. Strength 8 plus armor bane. That's a pen, and it's AP2. That's a 1. It just shakes it, and because it has a reinforced hull, it just drops a whole point. You haven't killed it.
It was a long shot.
It was a long shot. You're clamping melter bombs on it, and that is the end of turn 5. And they're a scoring unit and an Armistos for 1, 2, 3 points, 4 points, 5, 6, 7 points.
The apothecary never counts.
But that's a unit, and that's a unit. 7 points to 3, 7 points to 4 with Slay the Warlord. The Ultramarines are winning. But let's see if we fall back. We don't fall back. And then let's see if the game ends. Because if it goes on to turn 6, maybe some of these big, nasty templates of doom can blow away some of these Ultramarines and turn this round upside down.
Maybe.
So do you want to roll? I mean, you're the victor.
I'm happy to roll.
On a 4+, it goes to turn 6. It goes to turn 6. So you're saying there's a chance. The Death Guard round here. Charging my Terminators into all of these Strength 8 missiles will be absolutely fine, right?
Yeah, nothing can go wrong there.
Nothing can go wrong. And Leviathan kills Deradeo.
That will.
That should be able to do that. Round here, if some of these templates actually manage to hit them, or these after the Typhon moved and you reacted, and there's a win opportunity here. I like the fact that they're running straight for them, though. Hopefully the shells will go over the back. They're like, duck!
They want to attach more melter bombs.
Yes, so let's start here. Let's shoot everything I got of these. The Typhon shooting point blank range. You're returning fire?
Well, the Armistos is in double tap range.
Yeah, he is. Okay, let's see if we can hit with the... This could be a horrible ricochet, by the way. It's a horrible ricochet. Boom, it hits one of your dudes and the tank. Here's one of your dudes and is wounded, and that is a brutal 3-4 times.
Well, it's AP.
Oh yeah, it's AP3.
It's AP splat.
My tank, it sunders and things. That's a penetrating hit on my tank, which stuns my tank. Brilliant. Then we got some las cannons, and that is not a... That's a... Right, 2 hits with the las cannons. 2 more are dead with the las cannons. And then the Armistos can try and... It's on 2 wounds from it. It stunned itself. The Armistos hits. Armor Bane. It doesn't pen.
Ah!
It doesn't pen, and it will be enough for a leadership test. And maybe they break. We can do that now. The dice are looking at them. Leadership 9. They hold. Because there's 3 units. 3 points wrapped up there. 2 for the scoring, 1 for the Armistos. Now these guys, and are paid for HK missiles, are shooting everything at this squad. 3rd time's the charm. The other 2 times I missed with the thing, and I miss again.
Oh man!
I need a hit to flip it on the 2nd shot. No, so that's a miss. HKs, both of them hit. These are strength 8 AP3. Thanks, good catch. They both wound. You have 6 up cover saves, or you can tank on the banner with a 5 up invulnerable save.
I will take them one at a time.
Okay.
6 up save on the Sergeant. No.
He's gone.
Sergeant dies.
Which means the
apothecary dies.
5 up on the banner.
No, he's a Centurion. He has artificer armor.
Okay.
So he's a 2 up save, which doesn't save him.
The banner falls. The banner falls. Turns out we shouldn't have been firing artillery all along. Should have just been firing straight shots at them.
I mean, Rhinos with HKs would have been cheaper.
Yeah. That means you're at 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 points down here. I've got 3 points up there, plus Slay the Warlord. It's as close can be, but we still aren't out the shooting phase yet. The Leviathan Dreadnought is going to fire everything at the Derpideo, hitting him on 2s. Wound it on 3s in Armor Bane range, and that is 5 wounds. 5 of them vulnerable saves. Okay, it takes 3 wounds. It's down to 2 left because it took some shots earlier on.
No, it blew itself up earlier on.
Oh yeah, it did. That's the end of my shooting phase. The Leviathan is going to charge the Derrideo. We make the charge. My Warlord is going to run headlong into 9 missile launchers.
Overwatch.
Can the Cataphractii plate hold firm? First you've got to hit, and you miss 3 times. 2s to wound. 4 wounds. It's all 2 up saves. If I fail one of these, people die. Fail one of these. Sergeant's dead. We charge 8 inches. And that was just enough for my Praetor to make that charge. And he hits on 3s. And he misses 3 times. That's what happens when you run into missile fire. And he'll only kill 1. Pile in, you've got 8 attacks backs with your missile dudes.
They'll club you to death with missile launchers.
Yeah, 5s to hit. 1 wound came through. 1, say I make the save, so I won that combat by 1, but you count was +1 with the Vexilla. So we're all locked up.
To draw.
And now we have Leviathan hitting Derrideo. First I have impact hits with Leviathan. Right, so that's 2 wounds on Derrideo, 2 2-up saves. And it takes a wound, it goes down to 1 less. Then it can hit the Leviathan with its 2 attacks. And it hits twice. And it doesn't wound. And the Leviathan hits the Derrideo back again 3 times. And we'll wound it on... Those are 6. That's wounds. A brutal 3. 6 damage. 6. 5 up and vulnerable saves.
I can make 6 of these, right?
Yeah. No.
Okay. No.
Derrideo.
Oh, yeah,
It blows up. And hurts my Leviathan.
Uh-oh.
And my Leviathan manages to make the save. Rhino. Hit the Rhino. Doesn't wound the Rhino. So at the end of turn 6 for the Death Guard, a Praetor and Leviathan are running rampant through the Ultramarines backfield. And then down in the Death Guard backfield, we have the Armistos and this squad. And a couple of tactical support over here. So in this shooting phase, the Armistos pulls the trigger on the multi-melter one more time. And he hits. And doesn't do anything. And with these guys chilling over here with no viable targets, and with everything else over here locked up, basically you've got a Rhino and some dudes over here in close combat, and that's it. And that's it. So that's it for the shooting phase. So you went charging in.
Yeah.
Charging in, and you're going to clamp a multi-melter one more time.
But melter bomb.
Melter bomb.
I could clamp the multi-melter to it, but I'd get... Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. It hit. It sticks. Can it pen it? That is a penetrating hit. I've got 2 hull points remaining. A 6 will kill it. It's not a kill. It goes down to 1 hull point remaining. It would have been so cool if the Armistos and his team had been able to do that.
Yeah, just one more turn.
I mean, he started off over there, taking out Leviathans, and then cheeky shot into the other Leviathan, then running away and came all the way around here, and now he's worrying a tank. But just one more turn.
We're on a 13, you say?
Yes.
So crack grenades can't do it?
No.
No, okay.
No, crack grenades cannot do it. But we have a combat over here with a Praetor versus your heavy weapons team one more time. My Praetor strikes out at 3 of them and kills only 1 of them. Then in the fight phase they hit back on 5s, and they're pretty good at clubbing baby seals. And they wound twice. And I make both of the saves, but you still have a Vexilla.
It's a tie.
So that counts as a draw. So we're locked up, and that's the end of turn 6. And at the end of turn 6, I've got 2 units that were able to shatter the lines of the Ultramarines. They're both denial units for 2 points, a 3rd point for killing the Warlord. And you have a troops unit, which counts as 2, with the Armistos 3 each. And that unit all the way over in the corner of the battle grid. So it's 4 points to 3 for the Ultramarines. It's a victory for the Loyalists this day. And this is the way the world ends. So, Paul, the superior tactics of the Ultramarines won in the end.
That was so close.
You've got nothing left. I've got nothing left either. The dead piles are spectacular.
If it went on for another turn... Do you know, if it went on for another turn, I'd have nothing over here.
Yes.
The Typhon would be gone.
Yes. You get an extra point for killing the Typhon as well.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to get in the final turn, but it just didn't happen for me.
And then there's multi-melters and other things going after the Scorpiuses as well.
I was quite pleased with the Armistos, I have to say, because he was able to jump into the tactical squad with his multi-melter and then keep on going.
Well, he's got Relentless.
Yeah.
So it turned out that he was actually giving him a weapon with the... It was the right decision. Because normally it's like people don't... I've got an Armistos for my Emperor's Children, but I haven't given him a gun. Why would you give him a gun?
Well, because his description says he's the master of every heavy weapon in the Legion's arsenal and is given free reign to employ whichever one he wants whenever he wants, because he is just so good at it.
Well, that's the reason for giving him a gun then.
Yeah.
But he's got the Cognis Signum, so he's tapping in the iPad and not shooting, saying, no, you shoot better, they're left or right. He does that as well. He does that as well.
He does do that as well, but you could do that with a Tech Marine.
Yeah, but why would you do it with the Tech? Tech Marines drive all the vehicles and fly all the airplanes, they fix all the aircraft, and...
They can also calculate ranges and operate a Cognis Signum. Tech Marine can't fire a big gun. He's like, what end up does he knows how to rebuild it and pray to it or some stuff like that, but he doesn't know how to shoot the thing.
Isn't it funny that the Tech Marines actually do some praying
I know.
because of the Omnissiah, but everyone else is not allowed to pray?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why the other legionaries don't talk to them that much.
Yeah, they don't like him. What's all this religious worship stuff? It's the only religious worshipping that is allowed in the Imperium. Is for the Omnissiah.
Indeed.
And you're getting some AdMech.
Yeah, I'm building a
bits to add to your Ultramarines.
Allied. I'm building an Allied
That's the
detachment
one.
because on Calth,
Yes.
the Ultramarines are a big part of it, as are the local militias. So I'm building some stuff to ally. I still consider it because my New Year's resolution was stick to one army per game for the year.
Right. Okay.
And building allied detachments for my Ultramarines army is a loophole.
It doesn't count. It doesn't count.
Loophole.
It's because
my AdMech are falling straight. My Mechanicum are falling straight through.
Ultramarines had all the toys. They had all the guns. They had all the things all the time. They have multiple rights of war. They have all the rights of war in the book with which to play with. I mean, who wrote the rights of war to begin with? Pride of the Legion.
The big G.
Drop Pod Assault. Spearhead thing. He wrote it all. Those are all your things if you're an Ultramarine player. Anyway, that was close. Only 1 point in it. And I didn't know how it was. It could have gone either way at the end.
I was most scared of the heavy weapons teams.
Yeah.
But they didn't do that. Well, I guess they didn't do that much because I picked on them mercilessly until they were gone.
Turn 1 didn't have many shoots here. Turn 1 over here, you returned fire at the right target, got rid of it. And then turn 2 or 3, I'm going to delete his footage entirely because he kept getting missing or getting hotting or things like that. He was disgusting me. And then the multi-melter team got blown up out of the Rhino, didn't get anywhere.
Didn't want that to get close. I didn't think the Leviathan would end up down here at the start of the game. That's why I put some of the armory bits further away from it because I deployed second and went second.
Yeah.
I thought I'd sort of float round them with the multi-melters and the plasma guns and just walk away from them over here.
Yeah.
So I was very keen to get rid of those multi-melters to protect my big stuff over here, which the Leviathan just tore through.
The thing I find out about Death Guard is even though they can't make movement phase reactions or run, they are deceptively quick because terrain does slow you quite a lot down.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're just moving, and Marines used to move 6 all the time, but now they move 7. So moving 7 and 7 and 7, they've got quite...
And the fact that run is a guaranteed 4 can make them quite fast if you are just legging it down the field.
Yeah, it's just Death Guard move deceptively quick despite their handicap, despite the fact that they can't move as quick as other Marines.
What I found from previous games is it makes their tanks incredibly quick and deadly.
Yes.
Because they move at full speed and fire all the gun.
Yes. I haven't got that many tanks either, but the Typhon though. Yeah, normally these things move 5 to fire the gun, but it can move 10 and fire the gun, so it's got a bit more.
It's like
a bit more versatility.
Like back in the day with 40k and the Blood Angels with the old Baal Predators, where they had the supercharged engines, and they were all. My Baal Predators would just drive around. It was great fun.
And get immobilised.
Yeah, drive onto some bricks. And...
Well, overcooking at supercharged engines would immobilise them, right? If you rolled a 1 before they moved, they burnt their engines out.
It's quite a while ago, and that memory's only just popped back into my brain.
Grinding the gears. That happens in Moloch as well, in the Vengeful Spirit.
I was quite scared of that Typhon at the start, and it did some work, that Typhon. It took out bunches of units.
I got one really good glory shot in through the window over here when I took it. That was nice.
That was phenomenal.
It's always very satisfying when you manage to get a hit with something really glorious. Anyway, talking about really glorious, the battle was really glorious. Thanks for coming down, Paul.
Thanks for having me down, sir. Pleasure as always.
Check out Say Hi Paul's YouTube channel for Say Hi Paul goodness. Thanks to Den of Imagination for painting up all my Death Guard. They're glorious. Thanks to Urban Mats for the scenery and for the battle mat. And thank you to all my subscribers and all my members who help keep the lights on. You guys are awesome. Happy wargaming.